so I'm going to teach you how to work with dowsing rods. I love these ones because they're really nice and thick and solid. So they're not floppy. There are various different dowsing rods that I've worked with over the time. And the one was a thin brass rod in a bamboo handle. It's extremely floppy. So you could hardly move your hands up or down and you could make it open or close. And that for me is not truth. So when I saw ones like these, I've had them now made, these are in copper, but most of the ones that I sell are in brass because the copper prices have gone up quite a lot. Sorry, in stainless steel are the ones that I now do. So, and they work exactly the same way as what these do. But these are nice and solid, so you can lift your hands quite a lot before without them opening or closing. So, Nishani, would you be willing to be a guinea pig so that I can show you?
My moment of pain.
You asked for this. So first of all, when you work with them, you're going to rest your knuckles together, just to give it some stability, and hold them relatively gently in your hands. I don't want you to put your thumbs at the top because that's stabilizing it too much and it's not allowing it to be flexible. So just hold it softly, but it must be level with the ground. So I don't want it facing upwards. So if you're doing crown chakra, you're not going to face it to the crown. You're going to keep it level and just lift your hands slightly. You don't even have to put it in line with the chakras because it will respond to whatever you're asking it to show you anyway. So, but the client wants to be happier. So first of all, I'm going to show you that if I haven't programmed it or asked it what to show me, it's not going to react at all. It's only going to react to what I've asked it to show me. So the way you start with this is to first ask, please show me where Nishani's aura starts. And then I've already programmed it that it will open where her aura starts. So then I walk slowly towards her. And her auric field is here. So then don't continue walking in because then it's invasive. As you get to where it's responding, just stay there. So your auric field is nice and strong. Okay. Normally when we're tired or we're unwell, it gets much closer to the body. When you've done meditation or you're in a very clear spiritual space, or when you've used any of the products, it expands much bigger. Okay, so then I step out of it and I say thank you. Now, in order to program it to show you the health of each and every chakra, I will say, please will you show me the health of Nishani's base chakra. And this I will do in my head. I don't have to say verbally. But I'm going to ask it that if the chakra is 100% balanced, I want it to open like that. That for me is 100% clear. If it does this, then it's very open. It's almost kind of overly open. But generally it will be like this. If it's imbalanced, so if it's only 50% open, it may do that, or it may do that, or it may do that. It doesn't matter. Don't wonder why is it opening all to the left or all to the right, or why is one to the left and one to the right. It becomes very confusing. Just look at the distance between the two rods, and then you'll say, okay, that's 10 or 15 or 20 or whatever. Okay, so because these are already programmed, I'm going to start walking towards you and I'm going to look at your base chakra. Okay, so here, look. So that's 95% open. But it's all opening on the one side. It doesn't matter. It's saying 95% open. So base chakra is your energy, your sexuality, your drive, finances. So that's beautiful to see. Next chakra is the sacral. Did you use any of my sprays or oils this morning?
Use them every day.
Okay, so that's why they're all nice and balanced. So I might have to ask somebody else to step in. Because that's also 100% balanced.
Power of the oils.
Yeah? Let's look at your solar plexus. That's even stronger. You can see it starting further away. So, okay. So can I ask you to sit down? So yes. Thank you for that. That is showing the power of the oils. Anybody that didn't use any oils or sprays this morning? Okay, so now let's look at your base chakra. Cool, so you've got about 40% open there. So base chakra, we've already explained what that is. Let's look at your sacral. Okay, so sacral, you've only got about 10% open. Sacral is about codependency. So, and it's interesting because earlier you said, I think I'm taking on my client's stuff. So it's where we take on everybody else's stuff to try and help them and support them. And also where we're supporting others and we feel like we're not being supported ourselves. So just be aware that you need some time out and you need to show vulnerability and ask for help. And go for some sessions. Let's look at solar plexus. Nice, nice. Solar plexus is self-confidence. It's usually the stress area in the body. So if there's stress, fear and confusion, then that would be out of whack. But seeing it nice and open says you're empowered, you're also ready to have fun. And also a lot of confidence, which is great. Let's look at your heart. Cool, so heart we're looking at about, what's that?
80?
Yeah, it's about 80%. Beautiful. So everything you do comes from the heart and you love what you do. Look at your throat.
She knows what's coming.
So that could be linked to the sacral issue. So who are you carrying and supporting and you're getting really uptight with it and frustrated but you don't say anything because you don't want to rock the boat, you want to keep the peace and be nice and liked and whatever. So just be aware of this.
Blue oil for you.
Blue oil.
I use it every day, I forgot today.
Okay, let's look at your third eye. Nice. I hardly had to move and the third eye is open. So the intuition is well open.
Wow.
Beautiful. And let's look at your crown. I don't even have to move. Fantastic. So third eye is your intuition, crown is your higher self and your connection to your guides. And then let's look at your 8th chakra above the top of the head, which is your highest, really linking to your higher self. Also nice and open. Brilliant. So it's just, so stay there because I just want to. I'm going to give you just a spray of the orange. So whether you use the sprays or the oils, it does the same trick. And we're just going to give it a few moments just to filter through your auric field. And now I'm just going to look at the two that were imbalanced. So can you see I've stepped further away? And now we're going to look again at the sacral. Much better. Well done. And now let's look at the throat. So all the sprays or oils do the same thing. They all balance all the chakras. So you don't need to use the different colors for each chakra. The difference between the oils and the sprays are, the spray is in the auric field, so it will hold, the balance will hold for 2 to 3 hours, and then it'll go back to what it was. If you use the colored oil and you put it on the body, the skin absorbs it, takes it through the bloodstream to wherever it's needed, and it holds for 8 hours, and it starts dealing with the emotional causes. So it will help, I'm sure you found that when you use the blue oil, you speak more calmly, quietly, clearly, without swallowing back and saying nothing and imbalancing your body. And the orange would be the same thing. Now the one thing that's different with where, remember I said earlier, doesn't matter if it goes to the left or the right. If somebody has chosen orange as their biggest issue, so orange is about shock and trauma. If they've had shock or trauma, and that's trauma is through accidents, operations, abuse, hijacking, a child falling off a jungle gym, anything that creates shock or trauma in the body, you have the first part of your auric field is called the etheric. And the etheric will open from the left-hand side, from the armpit down to the ankle, well actually from the armpit to the hip, but we use the orange all the way down to the ankle to seal it. So if that has opened through any shock or trauma, your aura misplaces. And it's almost like you're beside yourself, because you are beside yourself. So you will see that by what the dowsing rods are doing. So if that etheric gap would be open, then none of these would open on her left-hand side. You would find that they would all do this or this, every chakra. If one of them open on that side, it's not an etheric gap problem. It just means that she's out of whack. But if none of them want to open on the left-hand side, it's because it's not picking up the auric field on the left-hand side, because that etheric gap is open. And in that case, you would use your orange oil. You just pump a few pumps in your hands, rub your hands together, and rub it right down the left-hand side to the ankle. It seals that etheric gap. It pulls the aura back into alignment. And you would need to use that every single morning until one of these 50 ml bottles are finished. And that is if the shock happened a while ago. If somebody's going in for an operation, or a child has fallen off a jungle gym immediately and you catch them immediately, then the little bottle is fine. Because the memory of the aura is still, it should be closed, so it's just a reminder and it will close again quite quickly. So you'll use this for about 4 or 5 days and it's done. But if it's the shock or trauma happened years ago and the etheric gap now has held the new memory of it being open, you need to train it, retrain it to close. So it's a reminder all the time to be closed. Thank you for being our guinea pig. Now I'd like you to show you a couple of other things. Who's wearing a crystal? Is anybody wearing a crystal that hasn't been cleaned or cleared recently? Perhaps. So let's have a look. Thank you. So we're going to have a look at where the auric field of this crystal is. So it's not too bad. Some of them just don't even open because it's never been cleaned, and then it won't open and it won't respond at all. So your auric field of this one is about here. Now I want to show you something that's really, really magic. This clear spray is brilliant for clearing crystals. And if you've had clients in your space and you just go afterwards and just give all your crystals a light spray, it immediately empties whatever it's taken on, re-energizes and awakens it so that it's clear immediately. So it was just taking a while to come up the pipe because it's a new bottle. So now I want to show you how immediately that responds. I can feel it pushing me even out the room. Let's have a look at the aura of that crystal.
Wow.
It is huge. And now we can play with even more things. Who's got a cell phone with no protection on the cell phone?
No protection.
Well, some people have tachyons or things on.
I got nothing on.
Okay, so can I use you as a guinea pig?
Yes.
So if you can just stand up. Just stand in front of your chair is fine. So now I want to have a look at where your aura starts. I'm not looking at each chakra, I'm just looking at auric field. That's here. Now hold your cell phone. Let's look at where your aura starts.
Naughty you, eh? Naughty you, eh?
Look what that's doing to your auric field.
And I've always got this phone in my hand.
No
We
more.
joined at the
No
hippie.
more.
We joined at the hippie.
So I have some tachyon protection in mine,
What is it?
which is this little. It's a little disc like that.
Where do you get it? Oh, okay. What's it called?
So it's called Smart Foss. It's from a company called Tachyon.
Okay.
They do that thingy that's hanging up there is Tachyon. It's a whole different technology.
Okay.
I don't sell them, but I can certainly put you on to somebody who does, if you're interested.
Please go ahead.
Yes, please.
C-H...
That's fine, no worries, I'll Google it.
T-A-C-H-Y-O-N. Tachyon. Y-O-N.
So that is called like radiation things.
Yeah, but I just want you to hold this phone to see if there's a difference.
Check your one.
So yours is still here, huh? Okay. Let's have a look at where your auric field is now. So it's still not great. No matter what you've got in it, it still does affect you, but it is better than having nothing. So anybody who's got any other kind of protection devices on their phone, and that's supposed to protect you against the electromagnetic frequency, just be aware of that.
Because our little thing, I've got those little USB Himalayan salt things that you plug into your computer and you put it on the top. And I had a lady that came in one day and she said, oh, it feels so much better here, what did you do? And I put that little, you see, so I'll have to get something.
And with that crystal that you got there, the pyramid,
Yes.
What's it called again? The
Orgonite.
Orgonite. I've got little orgonite crystals. I even gave them all to my family.
Do you have
They
it on
were
the phone?
stunning.
No, I took it off last night because I was dancing in my living room. So I needed to
Okay.
get it.
Okay. So just check. If you're going to work with dowsing rods, just check. You can check yourself in the mirror. You can see your own chakras. You can see your own auric field. So you can then hold or put your cell phone in your pocket and then walk towards you and see before a cell phone, after a cell phone, and just see whether it's effective or not. Because a lot of people sell stuff and you don't know whether it's effective or not. So this way you can actually check for yourself. And what I love with dowsing rods is you can't influence it. I find that with a pendulum I can influence it. But with the dowsing rods, I do not influence it. If it's not meant to show me, it will not show
But if
me.
you influence it, you're fooling yourself.
Yeah, but
Doesn't make
still,
sense.
doesn't matter. It's whatever's in your mind, what you're really wishing for,
Yeah.
you will influence it because you're really wishing for that. I also look at water. So people that drink tap water, what the energy of the water is like, before and after. Let's have a look at yours, your bottle of water. So this is Bon Aqua.
Oh, you'll be surprised.
Let's look at where the energy of this water is.
Plastic though.
Next,
Scary.
no energy.
Scary.
That
is very scary.
I just want to see something.
So this is,
No, it's I filled it at home.
oh, is it your own filtered water in that bottle?
That she has prayed on
So
or
let's,
something.
have you prayed on it or
Yes.
just filtered?
She
Prayed
prayed
on it. Okay, so let's have a look.
Wow.
See.
Now you can give it to your clients.
But you know,
Now, let me show you something else. Let's take that bottle again.
Yes.
and spray.
No. I want you all just to send love to that water. Masaru Emoto talks about the messages
Yes.
in water and how we can charge water and how we can clear water by what we project into it. So let's have a look now.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's incredible.
You see, even if you
So it
take
doesn't
that-
matter whether it's in plastic or not.
That colour mandala thing you've got,
Yeah,
and you put the water on top of that.
yeah.
That's what I do, and I put my pyramid on top of
Yeah,
that.
I was going to put
Just
it
leave
on
it.
my,
Yeah.
on my water.
I also use, when my candles are finished, I use these stickers that have got a very high vibration, and I use those on my glasses to invite angel water or create angel water. So, and this is just, it hasn't been charged or anything, but it is filtered water, and it's got crystals in the jug with this water. So let's have a look at this.
I need me some.
So occasionally you might find that when you're looking at somebody's auric field, it'll cross. That shows that that chakra is completely shut down. I don't often see that with dowsing rods. I have seen that it doesn't open at all. Then you know that it's also a complete shutdown. But what I have noticed, and that's what I've programmed my dowsing rods to show me, is where there's underground water. And I've asked it to cross at the water source. So then I will just walk the space and just go, okay, please show me where there's underground water. So there's underground water here. I don't know, it may just be a pipe.
Mm.
So if you're looking for sinking a borehole, I don't know what's there, but there's water there.
Mm.
Now, a lovely story I need to share with you is my father used to keep getting blocked arteries in both his legs. He had ops on both his legs twice from blocked arteries. And he wasn't into what I do at all. But the one day I just thought, I come back from that talk I was telling you about in Pretoria, and I had all my kit in my car, and I thought, let me just check with my dowsing rods. And I checked his bed. There was an underground and a stagnant water source. So where there's water, so we found where water is here. We'll now step off it, and I'll go, okay, thank you for showing me water. Can you now show me the direction of the flow of the water? And I go back there, and the water is flowing there. So when I checked my dad, his side of the bed, there was a water source. When I asked to show the flow of the water, it didn't move.
Mm.
It was a stagnant water source. I then went into the lounge to his chair. There was another stuck, so it was part of that same water source underneath his chair that also did not move. It was a stagnant water source. So all we moved was we moved his chair over a meter. We turned the bed from that direction to that direction, and his health improved considerably immediately.
Oh, I say also.
So that's also very, very interesting to notice.
Yeah.
So just to be aware of how you can play with these, just to see all sorts of amazing things. And what I love about using dowsing rods is that people can visually see it. So when you're saying, I get a feeling that you need that particular color, and then they go, yeah, but maybe, yes, maybe, no, maybe. Show them, and when they see their chakras out of whack, and then you give them, let them hold a bottle or give them a spray or rub a little bit of oil on, and they see the instant balancing, they will recognize how it works, and then they will be willing to try it. So thank you. Have fun with dowsing rods.